Bitcoin's volatility is hitting historic lows, while globally, the merits and advantages of an open and stateless monetary system become more apparent. Whether it's the rise of BRICS nations, the remarks of the Eritrean president to Putin, or Russia's NATO chief officer's latest statements, it's becoming more clear that we're entering into a multipolar world post-US dollar dominance. Are we in the calm before the storm? Welcome to Bitcoin Daily. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business, and welcome back from hopefully what was a great Father's Day. The fact that the United States dollar has been used as an economic weapon globally to extract resources from poor nations is no longer a secret, and is being said out loud by leaders globally. We've used it as a way to control poorer and cheaper nations with rich mineral resources and goods, and to extract cheap goods and cheap labor from other economies, like China. And it seems like that chapter is coming to an end. Listen to these remarks from the Eritrean president to Vladimir Putin just a year ago.
They are not manufacturing anything at all. It's printing money. And this has been one of their weapons globally. The monetary system, the global monetary system, controlled by dollar and euro, has been used. Sanctions here, sanctions there, sanctions there, grabbing this account, grabbing that account, has been one of their tools. This is not going to continue indefinitely. And we need a new financial architecture globally, not controlled by euro, not controlled by the dollar, not controlled by other currencies.
It's very clear that we're entering into a multipolar world, and people are clamoring and demanding for a new financial system. One where the system is not dominated by the United States, which represents about 4 to 5% of the population globally, but 25 to 30% of GDP and economic activity of the total financial system. This is why coalitions like BRICS are forming, to build an alliance separate from the dollar and the euro. Listen to what Russia's chief NATO officer has to say about this exact phenomenon and why they are looking to partner with China to take over the currency system in the world.
For both North America and Europe, if you start to be divided, and especially in a world where we are afraid of not only Russia, but also the security consequences of China for our security. As I said, of course, NATO is good for European security, but NATO is also very good for US security. The United States is big, but it's not that big, as it's 25% of world GDP. If you add all NATO allies, we are 50%, twice as big. That matters.
This and many other things is bringing the issue of building an entirely new financial system on completely new rails to the forefront. We obviously saw Donald Trump and his team take a pretty pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto stance last week.
To further secure America's future and create opportunity for young people, I will end Joe Biden's war on crypto, and we will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. We're going to keep it right here, and a lot of it's going to be done right here in Florida, right?
And just as of this week, it seems as though the Biden and the Democratic administration that's currently in office today is meeting with advisors to learn about what they might be missing out on with Bitcoin, where the administration is set to have a meeting with industry leaders led by Ro Khanna this week or in the coming weeks. One of the major fears that I constantly hear about Bitcoin is, what if the government decides to ban it? Well, good luck now, as doing this pretty much guarantees that your party will no longer be in office and will no longer be elected. You will not only lose the popular vote, but you'll also lose the backing of key corporate sponsors, like Deutsche Telekom, one of the largest telecom providers in the world that also owns T-Mobile, who's set to begin mining Bitcoin as early as this year. They announced this last week at BTC Prague. A party choosing to not run on a Bitcoin platform would be as bad as Rory McIlroy missing 3 and 4 foot putts to lose the US Open last weekend. In the famous words of Parker Lewis, Bitcoin adoption happens gradually, then suddenly. And the price has been chopping sideways for quite some time now. As a matter of fact, it's been chopping sideways at an historic level. When looking at the 30-day volatility of Bitcoin's price, we are at the lowest levels that we've ever seen. This feels like the quiet before the storm. And based upon price performance from the previous halvings, at 4% into the next halving is when we start to see the magic. This, combined with geopolitical concerns, as well as other countries moving away from the dollar and doing so quickly, we could see the fireworks we've always been talking about. Late last year and early this year, we talked about the perfect storm brewing for Bitcoin. And much of that time, we talked about how it was the quiet before the storm. And the price proceeded to move from about 40K up to all-time highs in just a matter of weeks. Will we see the same behavior over the next several months as we head toward an election and geopolitical tensions continuing to rise? With the US reverse repo getting to near historic lows, the government's going to have to step in and provide some liquidity because people aren't making money anywhere else. The market needs a new stimulus and the market needs a new system. And so while we're chopping sideways, while you're continuing to stack sats, continue to stack education. The level of your conviction rises with the level of your education. Tonight, right here on YouTube, don't miss the premiere of our new series called 21 Voices, where we'll be hearing from the leading experts in Bitcoin. Tonight's first premiere episode airs with Daniel Batten, a pioneer in climate technology and a Bitcoin mining expert, who's actually the one that comes up with the sustainability index that we cite pretty often on this show. Daniel's going to be talking to us about how Bitcoin can help remove methane gas from the environment, how it will help us actually drive renewable energy infrastructure upgrades that we desperately need, as Bitcoin will be a ready buyer, and overall, a more sustainable future. A new episode will drop every Monday and every Thursday right here on our YouTube channel. So, watch the premiere episode of our new series called 21 Voices tonight on YouTube at 8:21 p.m. Eastern. You might have dually screens up, watching Game 5 of the Mavs versus the Celtics, as well as the premiere episode of 21 Voices. Who needs to watch ads in between commercial breaks when you can be getting smarter and learning more about Bitcoin? And with that, we're signing off for tonight. This is Dante Cook with Swan.com. Happy stacking.